started now. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to start by recognizing and acknowledging the Salmis of Squamish Nation, whose traditional territories we live, we learn, and we do our work on, and we're meeting tonight on. Welcome to the January board meeting, and I'd like to start by doing some introductions, and we'll start at the very end of this row.
Hi, my name is Norman Isaac. I'm president of QP 382, and I'm a painter for the school district.
Me, I'm Shauna Abbott, proud president of QP 947 Inside Workers, and I'm a homestay coordinator for the international program.
I'm Carolyn Howe, she, her. I'm president of the GBTA, and I am also a teacher at South Park Music and Primary.
Hi everyone, Sarah Winter. I am president of Victoria Principal Choice Principals Association and principal of Strawberry Vale.
Hi, my name is Katrina Strive, and I'm secretary treasurer.
Good evening, Deb Whitman, superintendent.
Hi, I'm Sherry Bell. I'm trustee of the Greater Victoria School District.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Tom Marks. I'm deputy superintendent.
I'm Sean Powell. I'm associate superintendent.
Good evening, my name is Dr. Shelley Wilton, and I'm the director for Indigenous Education.
Annabelle Walk Sisters, Salmis Nation. I'm the student success manager, also a nation member.
My name is Gloria Wilson, and I'm the student rep for Squamish.
Hi, my name is Salome. I'm the board chair of the district PAC, the Victoria Confederation PAC of City Councils.
Excellent, thank you. Charmaine.
Good evening, Charmaine Short, principal of early learning and childcare.
Good evening, everybody. Sean McCartney, Director of Instructional Learning and Inclusion. Good evening, everyone. David Hovis, Director of Instruction, Learning and Inclusion.
Morning, I'm the director of schools. Julie Leonard, associate secretary treasurer.
Josh Rice, District Principal of IT for Learning.
The names like it is.
Good evening, everyone. Jeff Davis, Director of International Education.
Wonderful, and welcome to everyone that's in the audience tonight. I just want to start by saying that if there are questions that people have, the question papers are over here, and if you have questions that you would like read in the question period, you need to have them filled out and put back in the box after the superintendent's report, and then they will be read out loud at that point. And I'd like to start by carrying the motion to approve the agenda, and also carrying motion to approve the minutes from the previous meeting. This was December the 8th. And I'd like to now move to A5, which is district celebrations, district celebration. And I'm going to ask, is it both of you, Bonnie and Emily, or just Bonnie? Okay, Bonnie, why don't you come up? And I think you've got a short PowerPoint, but excellent. That's all right. So every month we look at things that are happening within our district that we can highlight and celebrate, focus on what students have achieved or what is happening in our district that is unique or new.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Bonnie Alexander from the Pathways and Partnerships Department here in our district. There's 3 of us. I work with Emily there and Kevin Blessing as well. We're a team that work with all our schools K-12 to bring great education and opportunities to our students. I'm going to talk a little bit about kind of the cool opportunity that came up for our teacher librarians. A big part of the work I do with K-8 is really helping people understand the impact of career education long term for students, especially in transition rates when they leave our school. One way we do that is we connect with our incredible teacher librarians in our elementary and middle schools. And we've done that since 2018. We had a major grant. The grant that's gone to all of our elementary and middle schools to build career education resources in their libraries. So these are non-consumables, these are Lego or Connects, all sorts of different things for kids to show their learning and get exploration about different careers and things that people do in the community. So this career education micro grant came about through what we call the Career Education Society DC. It's a society that's been around for 50 years actually this year, which is incredible. And so this year, the Ministry of Education gave them a amount of money to then, to put out into BC, into schools, to bring further career education opportunities to them. So this went out to all our elementary schools, this grant application. Schools from all over the province applied, and 9 of our schools actually applied, which was well beyond what the others have, because we have developed really, purposeful relationships with our TLs. And then in the end, we had some incredible winners. We want to kind of share and celebrate the money that they've won. I just want you to know that I think what's important to know is really what they're doing in terms of, it's the idea of bringing careers in through exploration and hands-on manipulatives, reading books. The book lists are really rich and full. All those old career education books are now gone, and the ones that really didn't represent the future of work, future of our schools. So they've worked tirelessly. And I just want to kind of have a few of them that we're going to just really talk about the money that they were able to get put into their libraries. So we had Michelle Hutchinson from Marigold won $300. Jesse Moore at Victor, they won $1,250, which is actually one of the top awards because they are doing such innovative work to expose their students to the world, their community, to all the great things that they're doing at Victor. So we're really pleased to see that go their way. Denmark Russell from Eagle View got $500. Lauren John from Sir James Douglas, $500. Sherry O'Sullivan, which I'll just, the next slide, I'll tell you a little bit more about Sherry, $500, and Lorraine Powell, at Lansdowne South, $500 as well. So, move to the next slide. So I asked Sherry just to say a few words, about kind of the why, what she's done, and how she's created this, really exciting environment in her school for all students to enjoy. She says, I'm grateful to receive this micro grant from the Career Education Society of BC. This year, it allowed me to purchase durable, non-consumable resources and career-focused books that meaningfully connect library learning to real-world career paths. Our students are using the materials to explore how skills such as problem solving, design thinking, collaboration, and creativity apply across a wide range of careers. The resources support purposeful career education conversations and activities with students and classroom teachers. So just know they are leading the charge in their schools. Teachers are collaborating and bringing groups of students in to try different things and experience things together, and use these resources together. So we just wanted to highlight the great work they're doing and kind of a plug for the importance of career education and the work and commitment our district is to doing this work and the impact it's going to have for all of us.
Thank you, Bonnie. I just have a few questions.
Yes.
I was really impressed with Victor School receiving that amount of funding. And I know it went to the library, but what are the kinds of resources that Victor received, and what will they be doing with that?
Yeah, so
resources?
it was really manipulative, so Lego connects some career books as well for them to look through. So it's gonna be quite a diverse range of things. They have collections already of different tools and resources that they use. So it was really to kind of expand on what they have so more students can take part and enjoy those resources.
Excellent. And another question is, so can you tell us, so we've got a career focus, and most of these were elementary schools.
Yes.
What are other things that are happening in elementary schools around career education?
Have a lot.
We
We have some great things going on. So we have events like Guess My Job, which is a fun event for 100+ students in the school. We bring in 4 guests for students to try and guess their jobs. They don't have their uniforms on or any of their tools for trade. The kids get to guess, and then they leave and come back with their uniforms and their tools and that, and kind of reveal what their job is to students. Any projects we do are really supportive of work lessons. I do a lot of training with teachers. We do lunch and learns before any activities or any career resources are utilized. So the best part of my job is training and working with teachers. So career education is very much alive in K-8.
Great. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. And now we have a community presentation called Bubble Buddies from Turkey elementary school, and originally I thought there was going to be a parent coming to present. And then Isabel walked in and told me, no, she's the one that's doing the presentation tonight. Is this Isabel's dad?
I'm not Isabel. My hair might be a little more beautiful and I have to get a lot smarter to be her, so I'm her dad, Steve Ogilvy, but she is gonna do the presentation. And if anybody has any questions, I can help out.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Hello, members of the board and everyone else in attendance. My name is Isabel Ogilvy and I'm a 5th grade student in Torquay Elementary. Starting in grade 4, I became interested in a program at the school called Bubble Buddies, which was run by current grade 5 teacher, Mr. Massini. In this program, students who sign up get to help learn and caretake large fish tanks at the school. The duties of the students in the program include feeding the fish, cleaning the tanks, checking filters and other gear, adding water, and monitoring temperature. Along with the practical hands-on learning from performing these tasks, the students get a chance to learn about ecology, biology, and chemistry. Being in Bubble Buddies gives me a sense of community that cannot be found on the playground. I love learning about the fish and how to care for them. I have learned a lot and I have a warm feeling inside me every time I go to Bubble Buddies. When I am working with Bubble Buddies, it gives me a sense of purpose and makes me more confident and capable. I see the fish not only as animals, but as friends that I am helping take care of. Mr. Massini has been running this program for 20 years. He is passionate about his students' learning. He helps build our community and gives us special opportunities. I think programs like Bubble Buddies should be supported as it gives students a chance to learn outside of the classroom. It is not only Mr. Massini and the Bubble Buddies that support this great learning opportunity. Also, my principal, Miss Eggar, and our Parent Advisory Council encourage this club. As you may already be aware, the program has had to start shutting down due to the newer rules around pets in the classroom and access to school buildings during break periods. As these are very large tanks, they are impossible to move once set up, and the tanks need regular maintenance in order to keep the fish alive. Mr. Massini goes in at least once a week during break periods to keep the tank healthy. Under these rules, this is no longer possible. I really love Bubble Buddies and it makes me upset to know that something like this could get shut down. I hope we can find some common ground in order to keep the program going. Thank you for letting me talk about my perspective. I appreciate it.
Isabel, that was so well done. You clearly practiced and took a lot of time to write that out, and I'm sure your family helped you too, did they? Well, you did an excellent job in speaking. And can I just ask you a question about, you talked about Bubble Buddies and how important it was for you. How many people work in Bubble Buddies with you at your school? Do you know? How many other students? Is it just grade 5s or?
It's grade 5 and 4.
Open to grade 5 and 4, whoever wants to be part of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, great. And did you work in Bubble Buddies when you were in grade 4 too? So is this your second year in it? Thank you. I really appreciate the presentation, and we will be having conversations about what you've pointed out around how difficult it will be if the teacher can't get access to the school. We're kind of aware that that was an issue, and I'm glad that you came here to point it out so well. You did an excellent job. Thank you. Thank you so much, and thank you to Isabel's family for coming, and we'll have conversations with the school, and you'll know a little bit more in the near future. So thanks for coming. Thanks. Oh, right. Moving on to C1, and anyone that's done their presentation and wants to stay for the rest of the board meeting. But if you have other things that you've got to do or bedtime routines to get going on, please feel free to leave. Thanks. Thanks again. Okay, next on the agenda is the bi-monthly report. And I just want to start, as I usually do, with a school visit. So I visited Oak Bay High School a couple of weeks ago and walked around the school, actually ran into some students, and it was so nice actually to be back in high school to see the interactions between not only the students, but the students and staff. They were collecting pictures for the yearbook, and I was walking with the principal, Sean Golding. And if you know Sean, he's very tall, and they were trying to figure out how they were going to present something in the yearbook. So they were finding pictures of characters in cartoons and TV, and then putting a picture of another person beside it. So they talked about Sean having a representation with Mr. Clean, which was the picture that he had to pose for. So it was really great. We were wandering around on a Friday afternoon, engaging with all kinds of students and taking a look around. Also, we had a chance to sit down and chat. And one of the questions I always ask people when I'm out of school is, so what's great? What's happening that you really are proud of or enjoy doing? And Sean talked a lot about how at that particular school that he said it's just amazing the shared leadership, and that teachers and staff take on roles that maybe the other places they don't take on. Certainly had a lot of comments about volunteer time that staff engage in, whether it's coaching sports or being part of a club. And it was really nice to see how that was appreciated. He also talked about something that they do at Oak Bay that I love, and they've been doing this for quite a while. That's a focus block. So it's for students that it's a block where students aren't scheduled in a class, but they can go to the teacher or the class that they feel they need the most support in. So if they're struggling in social studies, that's where they would go to that block, and they would get support from that teacher. And I remember hearing about this years ago, and it's still going there. So it was a great school visit, and I greatly appreciated running into all kinds of people, especially the students. Secondly, I'm sure you have heard on the news or on social media that the Minister of Education Childcare has approved the submission that was created by the task force to change the electoral system in the Greater Victoria School District. So moving from an at-large system to electoral areas. So with that, we are starting to plan to support people that may want to run as a trustee. And I think I'm hoping that with this new system that more people will want to run in their community. One of the exceptional pieces of this is that Songhees and Esquimalt Nation will both be able to elect their trustee. And then we've got the municipality of Esquimalt and Oak Bay, and then two trustees each for Saanich and Victoria, and then one for Highlands and View Royal. So with that smaller community, we're hoping that there'll be more interest in being part of a school board, and hope that people are interested and will come out to some events that we will be having both in community and here to help people understand, so what is it like to be a trustee? And we've got volunteers from our neighboring school districts, trustees who have said, I'm happy to help, just talk about my experience. And so we'll take them up on that and move forward in the coming months with some more information that'll be public. Budget work, we're still working on budget. We had partners of SD61 meeting last week, and we went over a PowerPoint, a podcast, some preliminary budget information, and received feedback from partners as to what should we be doing next. So more to come on budget. I've also continued to work with BC School Trustees Association on their policy revision committee, and hopefully in February they'll have a document that will come out to support boards, again, in preparation for the next election, to set boards up as best as we can with policy revisions and provincial look at best practice with policy work. And that's all of my reports. So I'm going to move to the next section, which is E, District Leadership Team Reports. And I will pass it over to Superintendent Deb Whitten.
Thank you. So my report is on page 10 of the pack-up, and there are a few things that I would like to just bring forward into this meeting. First of all, just an update, letting people know that as per our district safety plan, I've met with the police chiefs from Oakville, Saanich, and Victoria, as well as the superintendent from West Shore RCMP, and it's look so far back at how things have gone from the fall and any things that we want to highlight and look at for the rest of the school year. So very positive conversations, opportunity to reflect and check in and look at that continuous improvement cycle and just make sure that the dialogue is open. Other areas, some acknowledgements. So our acting director of IT is stepping away from our district, and just want to be really thankful on behalf of our entire district for the work that she did around leadership and strategic planning. So want to thank Jennifer. Facility staff as well. They had an extremely busy winter, mostly related to weather, as well as some winter rentals, and just thankful for that entire facility staff. We're going above and beyond on the call outs and extra pieces. And lastly, want to acknowledge Director of HR, Mike. Toward the end of December, he summited Mount Aconcagua, which is one of the 7 summits. So 6960 meter mountain, not something that I would do on my vacation, but it is something that he did, which obviously took an incredible commitment and success. So we just acknowledge that as a very, very impressive. The mountain is Argentina and Chile mountain. So, well, very good. And that is everything for my monthly update.
Thank you very much. I'm going to move on to the revised Friendship Advisory Committee. Terms of reference.
They're great. I'll pass it to Associate Superintendent Sean Powell for an overview of this update.
And I'm just scrolling right now to get to the document that's in front of you. Just, there was a few changes that were made with our French Advisory Committee this past year. Just, oops. Certifications. If you have the document, if you don't have the document in front of you, just a couple of changes. From there was a suggestion made from, I don't have the document in front of me, I don't quote it by memory. There was a suggestion from the committee that that they had like to be able to give advice around pathways enrollment and retention. So that was one ask that was made as a change. The next one, and just simply because of the number of people that have been responsible for French education in our district, has changed the different hats and titles that we've had over the years. And so the suggestion was to have district administrator responsible for French, and that sort of may cover that. And then before in the membership, we didn't have the district teacher responsible for French that was a part of it. And that was because that job didn't always exist, and so it has now for a number of years, and so the committee wanted that to be also recognized in the terms of reference. Any questions?
So, no, I think that this is just an annual update, is it? Do you look at it every year at the committee level?
We look at it every year. Generally, there are no changes, there's recommended changes that are brought forward, so that is why this year.
And did anyone at the table have a comment or question before we move to the motion? I think it's pretty.
Just a comment then, under the two representatives from the GBTA, reference given to one immersion teacher and one for French teacher. I understand that's been standard for some years, but would point out that the GBTA appoints those people and we choose our own preferences when selecting our appointments, so we're not really held to a specific preference in your terms of reference under the collective agreement. I mean, certainly we can consider such things when we're doing those appointments.
Appreciate that.
Thank you. All right, I'll read the motion that the official trustee of School District 61 Greater Victoria approve the revised terms of reference for French Advisory Committee, and that motion is carried. Moving on to revised childcare policy.
Thank you. In the backup on page 16, there is a memo with regards to the changes that are being proposed to the policy. We do have District Principal Charmaine Short, who is early years in childcare here to give an overview. These changes are in relation to the School Act being amended. And so the changes are in alignment with those School Act modifications, but Charmaine is here to answer any questions that you may have.
Do you want to point anything else? Or
I think it's in the backup. Really, we are making very small revisions based on revised School Act that was given royal assent on October 30th. So in response to that, the revisions are being made. As our policy.
great, thank you. And I was aware of the revisions and this makes total sense. Any comments or questions from the table? Yes.
I do, I just like to say on behalf of Keeping 947 that we wish that it would be taken into consideration for the seamless childcare. And that would be something that could go to our members.
Thank you, yes, thank you. All right, I'll read the motion. That the officials trustee of School District 61 Greater Victoria approve the revised policy 1330.1 childcare. Not necessary. Going to move to F2, Secretary Treasurer.
The first item there is the, just an update on the artificial turf field at Spectrum. The last update, we didn't know what the timeline was for the work to be done, so just providing that information in this meeting. Work has actually now begun on site at the school, and they're starting with tree protection, site access, drainage, and electrical conduits. The main excavation of the field is planned to occur in mid-March. And the turf contractor is expected to start in mid-July, with field completion prior to school startup in September 2026. So for this one.
Can you continue with the reports?
And also just a quick verbal update on the 26-27 budget. As official trustee Bell mentioned, we had a partners of SD61 meeting on January 12th, where we looked at a budget presentation and heard podcast, and also looked at the draft of the infographics. And we received some really great feedback in that meeting, which we're now working on updating at least the budget presentation and the infographics to reflect some of that feedback. So you'll see those documents come back again as we continue to work through the budget process. And our next meeting with partners of S261 is on February 11th, where we'll continue to have budget conversations. And also we have a Student Connections event that is planned for February 12th. So more information to come on the budget process at our next meeting.
All right. Anything else, Secretary Treasurer?
No, on that one.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right, so the monthly financial report is included in your agenda package. This is for December. And just a reminder that this budget or this report includes the annual budget. So it's the budget that was approved in April, plus any changes that have been made since then. And it includes the actual revenue and expenditures from July 1st until December 31st. So 6-month period. On page 27 of the agenda package, you can see the grand total for our revenues. And I'll just highlight that the percentage column is representing the percentage of revenue that we've budgeted, but haven't yet received or recognized. So in the current year, we're at 53%. And last year at this time, we were at 54%, so very close. The expenditures, if you take a look at page 30 of the agenda package, you can see the grand total. And for expenditures, the percentage column is the percentage of expenses that are budgeted and not yet spent. So this is what's available to spend. So current year, we're at 58%, which is exactly where we were last year. 58.
Thank you. Next one.
And the last one, monthly budget report, also for December. So this report includes all revenue changes and any significant expense changes. If you take a look at page 31 of the agenda package for the operating fund, under the section called changes amended budget, there are 2 new items that have been included since the last report. There's $24,000 in miscellaneous donations and revenue, and $18,000 in proceeds on the disposal of surplus assets. Special purpose fund, there have been no changes since the last report. And capital fund on page 33, we have seen interest income added to these ones, $614 for local capital and $31,000 in interest on ministry restricted capital. And those are the highlights.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to F, which is a question period. And this, I have a question that comes from Amanda. I would like to know what the district policy is regarding staff using personal devices to store images of minors without guardian's consent. What I would like to do with this is to provide Amanda a more fulsome answer to the question, and I'll ask that Superintendent Deb Whitney would get back to Amanda with the answers, and then have a conversation about any further questions that may be aligned with this initial question. So thank you for bringing that forward, and that will happen very soon. So with that, I'm moving to G. And that's section 72 report, which is the public disclosure of in-camera items, and we've got them listed on page 34 and 35. And there is no business. So with that concludes our meeting tonight, and I'd like the motion to adjourn be carried and wish everyone a really good night. That was